Now it's my pleasure to be joined by someone whose name you may not be hearing right now, even though you should be. He should be at the Senior Bowl, in my opinion. It's none other than UCF standout Tay Gowan. Tay, how's it going tonight, man?
How you going, man? It's going real good.
Now, obviously, it has to be tough grinding it out, doing a lot of workouts just to get yourself ready and everything, but also watching other guys who I'm sure some of them, you probably think that you're better than them. You should be there. What's it like for you just mentally staying focused in doing what you can to be in the best spot possible?
Well, right now for me, it's just more supporting those guys. I know a few guys in the Senior Bowl, so it's just me supporting really everybody out there. I'm not here to bash anybody or say anything bad about any. Supporting, preparing myself for my situation, whether that be the combine, whether that be pro day. I'm down here for Fort Lauderdale training at XPE, training my butt off 6 days a week, and I'm just looking forward to the next journey and what's going on with Tay Gowan.
Now, I'm sure you've been doing a lot of working out because going back to early September, when you said that you were going to forego this year because of COVID, that kind of only leaves you one thing to do, and that's work out and stay in shape. So, how hard, because we're going on what, 4 or 5 months now of you
Right.
only being able to work out. So, how hard has it been for you to just not get tired of the monotony of just kind of doing the same thing over and over and not actually being able to play?
Well, for me, I knew opting out was gonna cause a problem whether I work out, where I work out, my location, because I was not considered inside the COVID bubble anymore on the campus. So me declaring that I have opted out, that removed me from all football activities with UCF. So I found another option, which is my brother JK, Josh Kelly, who lives near the campus, has a great home, beautiful workouts, beautiful workout equipment. He has a field, so it wasn't that hard for me to get access to fields and work out. I also knew that I know how to maintain and just be ready for when I do leave for training. So I won't be behind or I won't be ahead of where I should be, just right on time.
Now, obviously, I want to get into making that decision because I'm sure it wasn't easy, and you had legitimate reason too. So, do you mind just explaining what went through your head and how you ultimately arrived at deciding to forego this year?
Okay, so what my story is, I was coming off a big 2019 season. Coming from a JUCO, I stepped into a role where it required a lot from me, and I did my job, and I think the man above that I was able to be in a position to do that. Going into the new season after the bowl game, I was home with my wife and my girl, I mean my daughter, and I was just preparing myself for COVID because we started hearing stuff like we started hearing rumors about COVID and stuff. And everybody like probably the whole nation was like, "Oh, it's a joke, whatever. It's not a real thing." Then it got more serious. So as I was preparing, like I was already knew that I had to stay in shape. So I was preparing myself to come back to school. So I ended up coming back to school because I'm a starter. So I was coming in the first group to train and get ready, read the playbook, was and preparing ourselves for COVID. And me coming back to school, I end up getting COVID. I end up getting around my daughter and around my girl. So it's two people that I put in danger coming back to school, trying to play football, trying to fulfill my dreams. And mind you, my daughter's a premature child born 2 months early. So that really put me in a bad position as a father where when I was thinking like, and I possibly could have got my daughter sick because I wanted to put myself first and play football, not knowing if COVID was a real thing or like the full details about it. We was requested to leave the campus when we found out. When I found out I had COVID, I had took two COVID tests, and they had called me and said I was positive. So, in that time, it was very hard for me and my daughter and my girl because we had to leave campus, and it was two options: either go to her house, where she had with her sisters and mom, or go home where I was to my people. And we decided to go to my house, and we ended up I ended up getting my own family sick. So COVID really put me in a bad position because I was seeing it from all angles. Like I'm getting people sick, and all I want to do is play football. And it's like it's my fault because I was just thinking like all types of stuff in my head. Like, damn, I just put my family in bad position. I could possibly get my daughter sick, and she's a premature child. Know how if her body's full developed. So it was a lot on my mind. It was a lot weighing on me. A lot of down nights where I was like, man, like maybe I should sit out this year and just make sure my daughters and stuff good. What happened was I my 14-day quarantine was up. I ended up doing like 21 days of quarantine, so I was away from the school trying to eat on my own, or barely had any money or anything, and just trying to make it with COVID. So it was very hard on me. It was very hard. So we ended up coming back to school, and I ended up trying to like work out with the team and make sure I do the right COVID protocols, and something just didn't sit right with me. At the time, I didn't know what was COVID going on, and I was just still like in shock and pain, like how I put my family in danger, and I had got not sick again, but I had started feeling a little like doing the workouts and stuff. I had started feeling like down, like not down, but like a little sick again. So that was my second like time, like thinking like, nah, this I'm not gonna put my daughter in another position where I can harm her or her life can be a danger. So that's when I had ultimately made a decision where I was going to sit out the 2020 season and just make sure that I'd be a full time father and make sure I graduate, make sure I be on my my workouts, and make sure I can eat properly, even though I'm not on campus and stuff. So that was my biggest thing. It just make sure my daughter and my family was safe because I didn't know what was COVID or how things was going. So I'm a family man. I I I cherish being a dad is one of the most important things that ever happened to me. So that was my ultimate decision to protect my family and not put myself first, even though this is what I want to do and I've been doing it my whole life. So that's where that decision came at. And I stood on it. I'm sticking by it. And I just pray that don't affect me, my draft status or whatever, because I'm a baller and I just want to show the world what I can do.
And most importantly, now that we're at the end of January of 2021, I mean, how do you feel? How does your daughter feel? Does everyone seem to be in good health?
It's amazing to me that I was able to keep her safe and all the programs was able to follow protocols, and it's just I'm thankful. I'm just more thankful than anything that I'm able to keep her safe.
And you feel fine too? Because I know some people sometimes might not. I think there's been reports that it's kind of hard to get back to that level where you were before, but has that been an issue for you?
No, sir, I feel fine. I'm down here training, going hard. I don't have I didn't lose no steps or anything. I feel fine.
Awesome. Well, hey, I'm glad to hear that. But man, I did, like I said, I wanted to back this up though, because for you to get there, you mentioned that you had to do a couple things at JUCO for you to get this shot. So let's go back to 2015, man. When you're just coming out of high school, take us on this road that leads you to your first stop along the way. How do you first decide what do you want to do in 2016 to go play football?
Um, well, Tay Gowan, he played 1 year of high school football. I think it all. I give it all to Coach Skip, my high school DB coach. He's getting all type of recruits, and at the high level now, you can search him. He's doing a great job at Newton. But I was one of his projects. He took me in, trained me hard, and I was able to get a scholarship from Miami of Ohio before spring ball due to me like doing like 7-on-7. I made Cam Newton All Star 7-on-17 and just things like that that stood out about my game. And I was tall and lengthy, so they took a shot on me and gave me an offer. With them doing that, Miami Ohio, when they gave me my first offer, I'm big on loyalty, so I felt a lot of loyalty to that program because they believed in me when nobody else did. So that's where I kind of like shut my recruitment down. That was kind of bad on my recruitment senior year. I ended up with 7-6 offers, but I was really stuck on Miami Ohio because they actually believed in me, and I was thinking I could go there and change the program, which I knew I could. I got to Miami, Ohio. I knew I had to get shoulder surgery, but I didn't want to. But I knew I had to. So going along, I knew I had to, and it was a set date for me. Then, but then the head coach came to me and asked me, like, "Do you want to get this?" No, he said, "Can you not get the surgery early, and can you help us out?" Like, can you help us? Like, can you help us like get a better look at practice? So going into game week 6, it was like six games down. We was like 0-6 or something like that. And that's when we had that big turnaround 6-6. But I was helping the offense get a better look at corner because I'm the best corner on the field type deal. So I pushed my surgery back, and I ended up getting surgery late in my Miami High career, going into my sophomore or my redshirt freshman year. So that's mainly the reason why I didn't play my 2 years, because it was a shoulder surgery, rehab, and just making sure my shoulder was good. It was never no off-field issues or nothing like that. It was just more me making sure my shoulder was good. When my shoulder healed, I took a chance on myself. I said, you know what? My shoulder's healed. I want to go play big ball. And I respectfully went to the head coach, my position coach, and told them what it was I want my dreams to do and how I want to fulfill my life. They understood. They didn't really take it in how I thought it was, but they understood. They understood where I was coming from. And I called Jordan, like you said, I called Jordan Smith. He gave me the opportunity to talk to the head coach at Butler, Tim Schaff. He gave me an opportunity, and I went there locked in. I didn't have a starting job when I got there. I earned my starting job. When I got to Butler, it was nothing given to me, and I went there and sold out. I was supposed to be number one corner off the board, but it's okay. It's okay.
So ultimately, though, how do you get to UCF? How do they emerge as the place that you want to go?
All right, my offer. Okay, yeah, my offer started taking off in JUCO around the end of around the bowl game. I had got a Houston offer, and I think everybody in the conference, like, they see who offered who. But my name was starting to get big numbers. And another thing, back to the loyalty thing, that would come with UCF. They told me something, that a player was leaving, and when they told me a player was leaving, they want me to step into a role. I believe that. So, and I believe that they was gonna have my back, my best interest, my loyalty, and I had their loyalty. So I shut my recruitment down. I had more visits to go visit. I had a TCU visit lined up, a Maryland visit lined up. I shut it down. I took one visit my JUCO year, and it was UCF. I committed, and I was all locked in.
And I love the fact that you get to UCF and you're not the starter week 1, but by the end of the first game, you're basically the starter. Can you just talk through what it's like, right? You go to Miami of Ohio, does not work out the way that you want. You do what you need to at Butler, so that part did work out, but it's to get to this stage. So can you just talk about the mindset that you had to have to when you got to UCF and how that season played out? Because did you have any doubts that you were actually going to be able to get out there and put on the show that you ultimately do?
When I got to UCF, I knew that I had to put on a lot of weight from JUCO. And when I got there, I eventually played at 185, 183 some games. When I first got there, I was all locked in. You can ask coaches, like, they can vouch for multiple workouts, sand workouts. I got videos, everything. I was all in. Like, I knew, like, my whole mindset was from JUCO to UCF. I was gonna be one and done. Like, I was trying to not model my game after, but one and done it like Mike Hughes, because he came from a JUCO too. He came from was it? It's in the Kansas League, Garden City. He came from Garden City, so I was like, I'm a one and done it too. Like, he ain't that much. That's what I was thinking to myself. Like, I'm one and done it too. Like, I'm out. So I put everything into my training, the food I was eating, my work, and all that. And my mindset was I was focused just on football, my daughter, my family. At the time, my daughter was just going to be born, so it was big on that. Like, and she was born 2 months early prematurely, and that even put a more chip on my shoulder. More got me more focused. Like, this, I have to, like, somebody's depending on me for real, for real.
Yeah.
So that my whole mindset was determined. And I was given the opportunity because Bam Moore, he went down, and I was next man up. So
Yeah,
I was
you were
given the
ready
opportunity.
and you balled out. I mean, that's there's a reason why after one season and not playing this year, Pro Football Focus still has you as something like close to being like around top 5 corners, a top 100 pick. I mean, you did enough in that one time that like technically wasn't even a full year, considering that you didn't even start that first game being a starter.
Right.
But I just wanted to pivot a little bit to Coach Heupel. So the news breaks earlier today that he ends up going to become the new Tennessee head coach. What are your thoughts on him, his approach to being a coach, and ultimately, how you think he'll be successful? What has he done to show you that he can be a successful coach?
I think success starts with how you is as a person, and I believe Coach Hyde is a good person. He always tell me he loved me and stuff. Oh, my screen here went up. Okay, my bad. He always tell me he loves me and stuff. Great guy. We always had great conversation how much he believed in me and how much he want me to push forward and how much the team needs me. So I believe if he keep that same mindset of being a great person, a good person, then he's gonna have success at Tennessee.
Yeah, definitely. So, man, I wanted to just ask you a little bit about your game itself playing corner, because you were kind of, like you said, you're a project in high school. You don't get on the field all that much up until this one year at UCF. So, how did you approach just taking your game to a high level without actually getting a lot of reps in a live game situation? Who were you watching film on? Guys in the NFL, or was it certain positional coaches that you'd credit it to?
I would say it was a strength coach, Coach Smith, that got my body to where I needed to be, and I can give up to the players on the team. They every day they come hard. They push me to where the tempo I need to be when I'm on the actual game. Like, and I can also give it to God. I'm a praying man. I also prayed a lot during the season, which people don't know. I prayed game week. I know I prayed up to 4 or 5 times, and I just do my prayer throughout the week. So that's another big part of my game. And like you said, and I have not been on the field a lot. That's to show the scouts and stuff that I have a lot of room to grow, and I have a lot more in me that I can tap into. And it's gonna get scary. Like, it's gonna get scary. Like, they
So,
don't even know.
were you watch like did you actually watch what other NFL players were doing to try to mimic them at all, or did you
Oh,
not even?
okay. One guy I could say Jalen Ramsey. I like his aggressiveness. That's a guy that I could take that from his game. Like, I want to come downhill like he do, and I don't much more talk. I don't. If you watch my film, I don't really talk. I'm not a talker, so it's just more me just showing up, doing my job, get my paycheck, go home because I know I have a job to do, and I'm gonna do my job to. I don't like to get caught on. That's my thing. So that's my thing. I
Well,
don't like to
when
get
you
caught on.
when people watch your film, they see speed. So right now, given what I've been able to see, right? I mean, you got to. Do you think you can walk in being one of the fastest guys in the league?
Yeah, I'm always hype myself up, but I'm gonna also prove it. Like, I got a lot to prove. Like, I got a lot to show people I can run, and I'm gonna show the league that I can run. Like, I can run with anybody. Ask Coach Martinez. He can vouch for me. That's why he say you can run with anybody. Like,
No,
I'm
I
I'm
I believe it, and I can't wait to see it. But I did, as we get closer to the end here, just want to ask, from what I could see, you were named to the 2021 Shrine Bowl, and unfortunately that didn't happen this year. But it seemed like they had virtual training sessions of some sort. So I just wanted to ask, did that happen yet? Is that scheduled to happen?
I think that schedule happened till more end of the month. But we had two Zoom meetings to get information from Hall of Famers
Nice.
and the guys that were speaking.
That's cool.
Yes, sir.
All right, man. Well, before you get out of here, I need to ask you to run through this little thing called the Gauntlet. Man, I got a couple quick questions. What is most important? Is it having the number one offense or the number one defense?
I'm a defensive guy, so I'm gonna go ahead and number one defense.
All right. Now, do you have a favorite football memory to date?
When I was 5 years old, I was playing running back and I was about to score a touchdown. I waved at my mom. Like, I was so far ahead of the opponents, I was just waving at my mom. I had enough time to wave and still score because she said she
That-
wished she had come.
That's awesome. Now, is there a pregame ritual that you stick to?
Yes. I well, this pregame ritual was with my brother J.K. Josh Kelly, and I will open my hand. We'll open our hands and pray, and just pray for like 30 minutes. Pregame ritual.
Got it. Now, what's most important? Is it the players or is it the scheme?
I think it's the players because players make the team. And once if I believe any program that has a player led or a player real bond, no division, just everybody together, that's where the success comes.
All right, man. Well, lastly, and most importantly, given everything you've been able to accomplish to get to right here, right now, with so much still ahead of you, what's the one best piece of advice that you'd give to a young, high school age student athlete?
My best advice is stay in the weight room, get you some protein, and be available. Best ability is availability. Be available. Stretch. Be ready when your name's called.
For sure. Well, from what I know, Twitter at focused_4. Tay, is there anything else, any other way people should follow you? Anything else they should know about you before you jump?
Follow me on Instagram. Oh yeah, okay. Oh, to answer your question earlier, I do music. I'm having on draft day. I'm gonna release my album Streets to the Cleats 2. I already released Streets to the Cleats 1, basically telling my story how I was a kid wanting to be in the streets, not so more like doing street stuff, but like I thought that was the ideal thing, and just moving my life to cleats. Like, man, don't be there, be here. Like, be on the field. Don't be doing all that. You can change your life. So that's saying advice and motivation to the young people. Like, you don't gotta be in the streets. You can go from the streets to the cleats. You can get your family out. You can do it for your family. You just gotta stay focused. And my path shows that like it don't matter what route you take. It don't matter what route you take. And I also have a clothing line gonna drop in the league called Gowan Island. If you haven't heard already, it's a real thing. You don't want to be there. And that's gonna drop. And also have a baby clothing line called Scholar Town for my daughter. So we're gonna be releasing that too for little babies, premature babies, all ages.
Wow, man, you got a couple of things cooking. I thought that football was going to be the only thing around the corner. I mean, I had no idea. So I am very much looking forward to seeing it all play out. I certainly don't want to end up on Gowan Island, but I'm looking forward to seeing a couple of guys stranded there.
Right, exactly.
Well, man, thank you so much for taking the time. Best wishes.